a regenesis for humanity has begun. And it's begun at UPeace in Costa Rica. We have every motive, opportunity, the know-how, the technologies available to us to accomplish this end and to fulfill it. The critical nature of our collaboration with the University of Peace and the Earth Charter Institute cannot be overstated. We are at such an important point of our development and hold such a critical position in terms of influencing the minds and heart and hopefully the actions of global citizens wanting to know how do we manifest these things proportionately? What do we do as our part to overcome the hopelessness and the apathy that seems to be plaguing so many segments of our society? And as academia and as institutions mandated with a role of education, of upliftment, of offering of hope, I'm particularly excited by this work and the functionality and delivery that can come from this model.
The concept of, or the idea of sustainability requires us to look at these problems from a local to global level with an integrated approach. And this project offers an opportunity for us to address that in a concrete way. So shifting from a theoretical vision of sustainability and bringing it to a very practical way into the local community. And that's how I see the value of the Earth Charter as an instrument to guide a shared vision.
My vision for the climate parks using the Earth Charter is not a very modest one. It's to model intelligent life on Earth. Something that can be mimicked, something that can be used, something that is both principle-based and practiced. And my vision is to have one of these climate parks in every major biome on the planet. There's 3 institutions that, for sustained community, and they equally need to be represented for global sustained community. And they are the magic of doing, the science of knowing, and the mysticism of being. And my intention and vision for the climate park is to show those as living institutions in real communities in as varied environments as possible. Another key element to that vision is to do a climate park right here at the University of Peace in Costa Rica.
So currently the global community is very focused on the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. Many of us can implement goals without really following the common good, or even we could implement goals in an unethical way. The Earth Charter provides a sort of foundations, much broader ethical foundations to guide the implementation of the SDGs. They are of course very linked. The content of the Earth Charter is very similar to the content of the SDGs, but it's crafted in a different way, and also the Earth Charter is much broader in terms of its vision than the vision that is articulated in the SDGs. So actually both of them could be seen in a very complementary way to one another. One offers, the Earth Charter offering the ethical foundation, the ethical framework to guide the decisions towards the implementation of the SDGs. And the SDGs is a common global agenda that the international community has agreed upon and is trying to work towards its implementation. The vision of sustainability is very important, and this project offers the opportunity to show in a concrete way a model of how the Earth Charter and the Sustainable Development Goals can be implemented at the sub-regional level.
While for the purpose of this presentation, we're concentrating on the academic or campus model, the model for the region that we're designing and the context for this academic model is also the community level model, the secular community in El Rodeo, and the indigenous community adjacent to the site, as well as the city of Cologne, which would provide then those various rings or spheres that need to be part of a model to show scalability. Each one of them will mirror each other and integrate with each other in meeting those various needs or requirements of human occupation, being the air and the water and the food and the soils and the biodiversity and carbon issues. All of the things listed in this design assignment are accomplished in each one of those areas separately, but together they provide a collaboration towards regional and global modeling for the full expression of all of those intentions of the Earth Charter. I use the Earth Charter as a constitutional base for our design systems, be they architecture, urban design, biodiversity programs, riverine recovery programs, environmental cleanups, all the different elements that go into making the whole systems design that we use work. So it is a cornerstone or a very clear foundation that I find incredibly useful. Nobody doesn't understand it. All of my clients, the institutions I work with, academia, the youth programs, everybody can relate to the language. So it is a universal document, and I use it universally as a constant reference. The Earth Charter reminds us all the time that we're designing not just for humanity and their needs, but we're designing for biodiversity. We're designing for all the underpinning life support systems. We're designing a system at a very high order of consciousness, where we are conscious that we are part of an entire integrated system of life, which includes all sentient life, from microbial life through the whole biological cycle, all the systems that convert minerals into food, and all the metabolism of the globe. We have reminders in the Earth Charter about that. Now we have to layer that over with science and with design and with architecture and all kinds of other thinking. We rate our work on our own very sophisticated template for what we consider integral design that leaves nothing out in terms of contextual life on Earth. We want to support all those life systems, and the Earth Charter is our foundational constitution for all of that work.
So this project will offer us an opportunity to develop a model of how we can bring together different stakeholders of a community that are not normally working together, neither collaborating, although they are neighbors, in coming together with a shared goal, using the Earth Charter as an instrument, as a foundation and as an ethical guide.
It's very important the word integral climate park, because that is giving a great value for what we are trying to do, and I think in my mind is trying to connect people, to connect different initiatives, to generate more synergies, because many of us here are working at Earth Charter, at the University for Peace, but then people from the Eroda community, from Ciudad Colón, from Kitiri's indigenous groups, we have many concerns which are the similar concerns. It's like we want to have clean rivers, we want to protect nature, all this richness that we have here. We also want that people have a good life, you know, we care about the well-being of people. So we all want to have that, but I think we were all doing things like a bit in isolation, in a fragmented way. And we know that that's not the best way to do it. I think we should join efforts. We should try to connect so we can better find some of the solutions of those problems that we see, and that we could create something new. And I think with the Integral Climate Park, it's going to be an adventure. We still don't know what's going to happen in the future. There's going to be new things that may even go beyond our imagination, and that's part of what it makes it very interesting.
Youth are obviously our future, but they are also the energy. They assist with the production of a whole design. You can't design a climate park that isn't designed for and with and also by the youth. So how we proceed with it, and how I would always recommend anybody proceeds with that process, is to engage a cross-section that definitely includes the youth in interviews, in dialogue, right at the conceptual phase of design. So we don't design what we think the youth will need, or what kind of school we think they would like, or what we think they need. We co-author that with the youth.
Having the climate park as a sort of, the Integral Climate Park as a sort of living learning lab here at University for Peace, to involve these students that are in the classes already taking these certain courses here at University for Peace, having them actually put what they're learning in theory, put it into practice, and being able to go out and being here on campus, putting into practice what they're learning in, for example, a food security class with the garden, learning how to grow their own food, learning how to create their own permaculture systems. There's some topics arise that have that include the Kitirisi community, the indigenous community next to us, closest to University for Peace, involving them in leadership process, maybe workshops, activities. So I think that that's very important for the youth to be a part of this whole process, because we're the future, they're the change agents, and they can, I think more and more today, more youth are using their voice, using their beliefs, and out in the streets, and out in these different processes. I think it's so important for them to understand that these processes are taking place, and that if we don't act now, and if we don't talk about it now, or not only talk but actually do actions now, then I think we're going to be in a very serious place, a very troublesome place. So I think that many people are understanding that it has to happen now, and not wait for others for others to act. So I think having this Integral Climate Park here at University for Peace, involving the Earth Charter, involving the youth already here as students at UPeace, I think is going to be one of the most important solutions to problems arising here in the local community in Ciudad Colón and El Rodeo.
Well, what excites me the most, that it would be the most realistic and holistic way to show what UPeace teaches in a tangible way. I mean, we would be practicing what we teach in an integral way.
I see the importance of this project as a good example of good governance, as it could eventually become a wonderful example of good environment and sustainability governance. Governance in the sense of how do we manage our resources, and how do we manage the impact that we generate in the community.
Yeah, UPeace is blessed with a huge area of natural land. So we've got forest, we have an organic garden on campus, we have lots of natural areas. Then we have a student and staff body with tons of experiences, both theory and practice, from all over the world. So we have all these knowledges come together, and it would be great to have, as I said, this playground where everyone can put those ideas and get them running. And having that here could really benefit communities around UPeace, and then to share experiences with the other global community or climate parks.
People learn when they observe, and when they see that things are possible. Change has always a high level of resistance, but when people see that the things really work, that are really happening in real life, then the change gets smoother. So being a role model, I think it's the most important thing.
What I would strongly encourage youth is not to wait, not to get ready through additional education, more information required. take that youthful energy, that inspiration, that unique perspective, and start today to express it into the world.
Yeah, the community garden is a great example of how we can take different voices from different cultures. We can take different knowledges, so people that may be great in a practical skill who may not have as much academic training, and then we can get people with academic training putting that into practice on the ground. It's a space that can be equitable. It's a space where people can apply sustainability, and it's a space where we can break down barriers among socioeconomic status, race, class, gender, and all work together.
So the concept of sustainability may sound very abstract to many people, and we are in much need of examples that show concrete ways in which sustainability can be implemented, and also to show that it's not that complicated. Sustainability happens in our everyday lives through the decisions we make, depending on the food we decide to eat and buy, the products that we consume, and how we manage the water, the electricity, and the waste that we generate every day in our lives and in the institutions that we belong to.
Another really important aspect of the doing and the acting right now is to get your hands and your feet into the soil, in walking in the beach sand, working with water, planting a garden. This contact, this non-conceptual engagement with the biosphere is the best way to build a relationship. We can't build an ethics-based conceptual movement towards enhancing our systems of life. We have to, at a point, start doing.